Hey everybody, welcome back to 3-Day Weekend. I'm Chris, and I'm so glad that you stopped by today. I've got Floyd in the garage. This is our 2019 Polaris ACE 570, my daughter's machine, and she brought it back to me with an overheat issue. These kids keep me busy. I haven't even finished rebuilding this one from the pond issue, and now I got this one with an overheat. So she brought it in, it was over temp, the fan's not spinning. So we're gonna troubleshoot and test the circuitry and see why that fan isn't spinning. Let's do it. I've already removed the seat, and I've already pulled the cover off, and that is just to expose the fuse panel, which is right there. And we're gonna pinch this really hard. Ooh. Come on. I'm gonna have to use two hands. There we go. You stick them in that way. Ah, there, it pops right off. Okay. Now I've exposed the fuse box, and it has your guide of what does what right inside here. So we're looking for, we've got a fan relay up top, and we've got a fan circuit breaker down below. Well, that's easy to spot. These circuit breakers are huge. So that is our fan circuit breaker. I'm just going to test this real quick and see if we have continuity threat. Using my Radio Shack multimeter from the 90s, we're just going to set that in ohms, and I change it so that it's in the simple mode. Open, close. Easy to tell. Test one side with this, one side with this, and we have power. So power will pass through the fuse, circuit breaker. That's not it. Some do just have a fuse, and that's easy enough. Just pull it out and see if it's blown. But that's not it. We got to keep going. The next step is checking the relay, which is the second one right here. Now, I wanted to point this out to you. Right now, we do not have a check engine light. So yeah, if I pull this relay, sometimes you need pliers. There, it's pulled. And we look up here. Now I have a check engine light. So it monitors this relay. So I'm going to real quick say that's not it. You can probe it for voltages and stuff. But we're going to assume that's okay, which takes us to the next step. I put that back in, and the check engine light immediately goes out. So we know the breaker's good. The fuse is probably good because it's yelling at us. So the next step is the fan itself. Let's test that. Now the fan, up underneath the front here, has a plug, and it is right in here. Can you see that? Yeah, that's the one right there. So we have to unplug it. It might be easier to get to from the top, but I'll reach in there and see if we can get it. We just want to unplug it so we can probe that for power. They do not leave you any extra in here. Holy cow. So you see the tab on this. You have to lift it off and over this tab. I thought it was a pinch and pull, but no, you gotta lift it up and over that. So now I have it disconnected. But we can't check for voltage right here because it's not telling the fan to turn on. So you can either short your relay out, but it's really tiny and small in there, or just run it until it's up to a temperature where it would turn on. I'm gonna do that method. Got her idling. I'm up to 172, and then the thought occurred to me, with one of the older machines, if you unplug the temperature sensor, it would just kick on the fans automatically. So I'm going to try that later because the exhaust is too hot now. I can't do it. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way, letting it warm up. Once it's up to, let's see, 198 degrees, the fan should turn on. So if I don't see a fan by 200, then I'll know it's something in the wiring. If I get 12 volts at the plug by then, I know it's the fan itself. We just reached 198. So I should have 12 volts. Oops. Yeah, 14.2 volts. This fan should be spinning right now, and it is, well, if it were plugged in, it should be spinning, and it's not. So there's my problem. But the engine's really hot right now, so I've got a fan set up there, and a fan set up there. Yeah, we're at 203. I'm gonna turn those on and hopefully cool this down a little bit. 2 fans like that will work. Was it 203? I'm down to 196. So that is one way to test, but I just found that there's an easier way to test. What if you disconnect the temperature sensor? Most vehicles will do a fail-safe if the temperature sensor is disconnected, and it'll turn on the fan. So this one's a little easier to show you because it's all torn apart. The temperature sensor is right there. If I disconnect that sensor, the check engine light comes on and the fan comes on. Aha! If I plug it back in, like so, the fan turns back off and the check engine light goes back out. So that's an easy way to test. I'm going to go do that to this one and confirm my readings from last time. Here's the temperature sensor in this one. See, it's just a little bit harder to reach, but it's there, it's doable. I had to pull it off with pliers. So now we're disconnected, ignition on, and I'm going to go down here and check for voltage. There's our voltage. I've got 12 volts at the plug, so that fan should be on when I plug it back in. Also, this is much easier because this is a coolant line and it was roasting hot and now it's not. So much easier way to check. To plug this back in, it's an absolute nightmare. So I was able to find this little hook screwdriver and hook it around the back side of the plug and hold it and then push the front down into it to plug it back in. That is in an awful, awful location. But that's what you need to do. If you got 12 volts there, that fan should be on. And when I first plugged it in, it started to spin so slow. And then it stopped. But it spins free. So I know it's not jammed up with mud or something. Oh, there, look. It's trying to go again. You see that? So, I've got a bad fan. I'll get a new one on order. It's been a couple weeks since we spoke last, been on vacation, but the new fan is here. Pull that. There it is. It's beautiful. This one is by All Balls Racing. I've used some of their bearings before. They've been okay. So we're going to give their fan a try. So far it looks okay. Looks like it's got 4 mounting points, and it's going to be behind the radiator. So step 1, I'm going to pull this box off and see if it can be swapped without taking the front fascia off on the radiator. So I'm going to time lapse pulling that off. If you see me take the front fascia off, then you'll know. Pretty good view of it with just the cover off of there. So front fascia is going to stay on. Hopefully we can get it out from behind this little piece of frame. And it looks like 4 bolts holding on. A little bigger than 10?
No, smaller.
Smaller than 10?
Smaller.
I think it's 10. They are 10. He was using English for some reason. There it is.
Yeah.
Ooh. You hear that? Those bearings are toast. It's interesting, that one's got an outer ring to it.
But the new one.
The new one does not. The new one's a completely different shape.
The new one's
Look at
a lot
this.
tighter.
Yeah, completely different. Those versus those. Yeah. We'll see what happens. All mounted up, everything's tight, plugged in, got the connector down out of the way. Go ahead and fire it up. Woo! That's loud. But it's moving a lot of air. All right, go ahead and shut it off. Let's get the cover back on. We'll plug the temperature sensor back in, firewall, throw the seat in, and send you off on a test drive. Taking it out for a test drive, we put it all together, plugged in the temperature sensor, and fan came on for just a second, shut back off, check engine light went out. So he's gonna go do a heat cycle, make sure it comes on. He's out doing his test drive, and I saw there's some bolts on the back, 3 8mm, and an 8mm in the center of that. And you take those off and the whole thing comes apart. So you've got your fan blades, and you got your cage, and you've got your motor, which ours is definitively bad. Those are some bad bearings in there. But I was looking at it, and it's made in China. There's the part number, Tripac 150014W. I don't know if this is just a standard 12-volt motor. You could just replace the motor and save some money. But the reason I pointed out China is because the All Balls one was $100 pretty much on Amazon, so I could get it in 2 days with Prime. And that was also made in China. The OEM one, $269, and I wouldn't have it for a week or so. Come to find out, made in China. Unless this is not the OEM fan, it's been replaced once before. But that would be before I got it. And it was almost new when I got it, so I think the OEMs are made by Tripac in China. Oh, and it has to be OEM. Somewhere, there it is. I saw a Polaris Industries sticker, there it is. So, I don't know, might be worth hanging on to those two things in case I have some sort of a failure in the future. We'll see. All right, he should be back from his test drive momentarily. He's back from his test drive, and it's working great. And that thing puts out more air than the original. I'm standing feet from it, and I can feel air moving over that thing. So, cooling off good, real fast. Excellent. So that is fixed. We're gonna cross that one right off the list. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the viewers, all the subscribers. If this helped you out, if you wouldn't mind hitting that super thanks at the bottom, really appreciate those. In the meantime, thanks again so much for watching. We hope to see you right here for another video on 3-Day Weekend.